Hello everyone and welcome back to School with Kerbal Space Program. So I did a little bit more science, just a little bit, and I unlocked a couple of new parts. See if I can find them all. It is mostly the boosters, and I think one of these engines, the LBT-45, I think, and the Sepatron. So not that much, but if we hop into the science compound, we can see exactly what that constitutes in terms of our progression. So let's see, I got survivability, so we now have one of these landing struts as well as some radial mounts and parachutes and stuff, so we can keep our guys alive a little bit more. I'm not quite sure why an engine is in there, but it is. And then I got general rocketry, which gives us these parts. Now, the main problem that you have in the early stages of this tech tree is you don't really have much of a way of getting power. You don't have any batteries, you don't have any RTGs, you don't have any kind of solar panel yet. And indeed, to do anything like that, we need to get a science tech, which gives us our first battery. Currently, the only way that we can actually get power is from our initial power batteries, and from thrusting our engines. Which is sort of suicide if you're doing it any other time than when you actually need to get into orbit and out of it and stuff. But if we get flight control and science tech, then we can get electrics, which actually has another battery and the static 1x1 kind of solar panel. So that's what we're looking to do, is to get another 90 science to purchase these two pieces. And I'm still not exactly sure what these numbers on it, 3, 4, 2, I'm not sure what it means. If it's things it leads into or not, I don't know. But let's see if we can use the science we've gained and the pieces we've unlocked via it to grab ourselves a bit more science. So let's see, into the science section, and we're going to need some mystery goo, because that's more or less the only things we have at the moment. So let's get 2 of those. And do we have the Science Junior? I don't recall if we have the Science Junior. Apparently we don't have the Science Junior just yet. Haven't made any assemblies yet either, so let's see. Let's get that. And people have, one thing I have seen people doing is they've been using an action group to observe the mystery goo and whatnot. So I'm going to get all of these hooked up to one of our custom command buttons, so we can get all this data in one swift swoop, as it were. Okay, structural, we're going to need a stack decoupler, to stack decouple, and let us get a bunch of fuel, and shift up a little bit, so we can get one of these engines. Okay, so max power 200, max power 215, 0.9 liquid fuel, 0.9 liquid fuel, 1 oxidizer, flame up threshold. I'm not actually seeing all that much. Output of full power, this one gives us more charge. Let's go with that one then. And what I think we're going to try and do is get into an aero braking low orbit. So let's get that. And actually, I'm going to need a decoupler under that. Let's get one of the big boosters. There we go. And we have our radial decouplers, so let's make use of those. And get a bunch of them. Okay. Let's move those down a little bit more. To about there. Okay, so those are all primed. Just fiddle around with that a little bit to get that right. Okay, so these don't create power, so we need to wait with all of our science sending, at least until we get everything like up to this rocket here. Let us see what happens. As before, we have our radial decoupler at the top with a parachute on the command module, so Jeb should survive this unless something goes horrifically wrong. But we'll see. So let us these things have a lot of thrust and a lot of fuel, so it's going to take a little bit. Okay, burning How's our power doing? Not fantastically. Also, there is no way in hell we are turning. Okay, let's leave that for now then. So, let's see. Kerbin Apoapsis is climbing. We can't turn this rocket off, so we're going to end where we end. It's a problem with solid fuels. Let's just try and shake this to the sides a little bit. Just to get our movement a little bit more as we'd like it. Okay. And how are we? Yeah, okay. That's our graveyard orbit kind of altitude, but it'll do. Okay, so let's straighten it out a little bit. And let's also get this into low. We've got plenty of fuel now. Okay, and I don't actually know if our things are coming up with anything here. 10 scientific value, let's keep that. 10 more scientific value, let's keep that as well. We'll reset the canister. Let us get a crew report. Not much. Now here's the question, do we want to try and have Jeb get out again? Okay, let's get out and stay connected now. Okay, yeah, 6.4, that's good, that's something. Store that. Board. Okay. And we've lost our node because we went onto EVA. Let's get that back. Okay, that should do fine. That's 1,571 meters per second. That's not fantastic. But we shall see if we manage it. We have, again, we still have a fair bit of fuel, and we're actually a fairly small, light craft. So let's just accelerate speed a little bit. 42-second burn estimated, so we'll go for 21 seconds ignition. Which is not long now. And since we're thrusting, let's start transmitting data back. I think we might actually manage this. Okay, I need to get this thing to stop transmitting data, so that we can actually have some power to remain. Okay, and we have our first orbital Kerbal. Now, this is a decaying orbit by intention, which is fine by me, because it means we can get a bunch of science from this. So let's observe the goo now. Seems to be clumped into a sphere. It also appears to have become brittle. And this will probably say the same thing. Yep. Keep that. And let's reset these. Let's get another crew report. Very much in space now. Yeah, we've got the same thing, so it's not that much. Okay, and another EVA from Jeb, who is now in orbit. Record observations about the situation. Not much for him to say then. Since we are in orbit, actually, let's try and get a EVA report. Yes, overwrite the existing one, because that's a little bit better. Okay, and now let's get you back in here then, Jeb, because we don't want to lose you again. Or potentially lose you, because you're still one of our best dudes, and you actually have our most, by far, EVA experience. Which isn't actually a thing that you have to worry about with Kerbals just yet. It'd be interesting if the things that they did on EVA and stuff and just in terms of their missions, actually accrued. Like if they gain some kind of experience over time. But we don't have to worry about that too much right now, so... Let's see, we've got our decaying orbit. We're probably going to get a couple of orbits out of this. So, let us transmit some data back. Okay. And we don't seem to have enough charge now. So, let's point the other way. Yeah, we're running out of charge, jeez. And I'm going to turn on the fine controls using caps lock. I actually know if this works for the thrust, but I'm hoping it does. Let's bring us back into the atmosphere, but we'll see how things go. Uploading data 50%. Yeah, we're now on a collision course again, instead of our aerobraking one, but if we have the power, I can turn this thing around and regain that, because we definitely have the fuel for it. So let's wait until that 50% is done again. Okay, turn around. I need to thrust. I really wish I had at least an RTG. They produce basically no thrust, but no power, but at least they produce it consistently. Oh well, okay, we're back into an orbit now. And I missed what that message said. I'm getting all manner of wonky orbits here, but as long as I stay into an aerobraking altitude on at least one half of this, be it apoapsis or periapsis, then our orbit will degrade over time and we'll actually be able to re-enter and save Jib instead of leaving him floating out here. But our next job really is to head for the moon, which is quite a bit farther than I think I've ever gone, including in New Sunrise. Well, New Sunrise I think I've been into geostationary orbit, but it's still farther than I've ever sent something with creative mode effectively pieces. Where are we? Are we still over the water? I think we're still over the water. In space near Kerbin. We'll keep it anyways. Yeah, we're still over the water, it seems. But how are we doing? Okay, let's flip around and keep doing our sort of thrust tango. It's okay if we go back into the atmosphere in the course of this, because our command pod detaches and has its own parachute, but ideally, I'd like to see how long we can stay up here. Unfortunately, it seems I retain the capacity to turn my engines on, even when we're ostensibly out of fuel. Now I keep that at around a 45-degree angle, 45-kilometer orbit, because that's decaying. And the lower I have the thrust, the more efficient it will thrust. So there we go, we've lost our A little bit again. So we push it up again a bit more. And we just sort of keep doing this over and over and over until everything gets done. And ideally we get over a new biome. Which it looks like we're about to. So, yeah, let's get it. Because Kerbin, in this update, also has new biomes. Which means that different places give us different data. So, let's see if I go back into here, hit crew reports, yes, overwrite. In space near Kerbin, not helpful, but oh well. And I shall imagine that this is going to give us the same information as well. Yeah, still 10. But I'll only retain 40% of that if I transmit at the moment. So we'll keep it, and I'll hold it on board. And let's head back for home, shall we? Which means we need to be thrusting against our retrograde. And while we're at this, I shall turn off our transmitter. And we'll keep all of the data that we have at the moment. So review. Yeah, that could be that again. 100% of 0.3 science. We'll just keep that. I don't think we need to worry about that. Okay, and fast forward a little bit. Phase warps can avoid the... Don't show again. I am no layman to this. Okay, so we'll just unload things by going into the map menu. I'll turn off SAS while we're doing this, to just reduce us to that last little bit of power that we could save. Although we still have quite a bit of fuel here, so we can probably still manage to get us a little more power, but basically that's our power plant. Which is a heavily flawed idea. Yeah, see, once the SAS is actually working, it's eating up some of our charge. But we are back in the atmosphere now, so we should start to see some re-entry effects, because we're going quite a bit faster than the terminal velocity here. So yep, there we go. And we'll be coming down any moment now. Now, funnily enough, once you get to electric, which includes your first solar panel, it also happens, for some strange reason, to include your... well, includes both lamps. I'm not exactly sure why that is. Ooh, come on. Open up, open up, open up, open up, open up, open up. I completely forgot that I was in time warp. Ooh. Ah. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or a favorite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now. Catch you later.